Hey guys, what's up? It's Gasmask Gamer, and I'm back, and I'm back with a very uh, sensitive video that personally hits me hard, and I feel very strongly about, and that is mass shootings and gun violence in America. I'm not going to be asking anything of you guys from this video. I just want to spread awareness. But feel free to like. I'm not setting any goal. I don't feel like I'm trying. I want to, say that I want likes for this video, because it's the right thing to do. And if I feel strongly about this, I should speak on it. But without further ado, guys, I'm just gonna get straight into my speech. I have 5 pages written here. Hopefully, that's enough. This video is enough time. And yeah. I remember the day the tragedy of Sandy Hook took place, and my mom and dad calling my sister and I to join them on the couch and listen to President Obama's speech, explaining what happened and starting to tear up. My parents grabbed my sister and I and held us close to comfort us, but it wasn't helping. For the following years, mass shootings became a common thread of events, which I would hear of and eventually grow numb to. But something about Parkland hit me hard. When we come to school, we want to have a safe environment where we can be taught information which we can use later on in our lives. But how are we supposed to learn if we are scared? Why does someone have to be scared to accept their right to an education? I hate to break it to you, but this won't change unless we take action. There are a lot of things we can do to suppress the amount of mass shootings in America, but there are also things we as a country are overlooking. Let's talk about something we all are talking about. Guns. Our Second Amendment right states that we have the right to bear arms, and some may say that we don't need this right anymore, due to the fact that it was created during the American Revolutionary War to protect from government tyranny. While that may not be the case anymore, it is still an American right. And when it comes to firearms, there is only so much more we could do due to the fact that everything is already in law, but the law is only as good as the people enforcing it. Automatic weapons are already illegal, along with high to mid-cap magazines. Background checks need to be more strict by not allowing anyone with a mental illness to purchase a gun unless they are signed off by a psychologist, and even then they will have to take a psychological exam to ensure their safety along with others. However, they must still be under watch by authority. And if they are violating any laws possible, and showing possible violent tendencies, they will lose their firearm. We also need to set a special age requirement that applies to all firearms. Did you know that in Florida, you have to be 18 to get a rifle/assault weapon and 21 to carry a pistol? We also need to ban modifications that make semi-auto weapons automatic. Anything that is suggested is already an existing law, but the law is only as good as the people enforcing it. Otherwise, they are just words on paper. On the other hand, some may say we need to ban guns altogether. And I get that. And as a result, not having gun violence. Okay. Well, the thing is, though, there are still stabbings in China, right? They say China doesn't have guns, so how about we get rid of our guns, and then we won't have gun violence? Well, there are still stabbings in China, so there's still violence, and criminals really don't care. They'll get their hands on guns somehow. And also, China has a different culture than us, and a different type of society than we do. So their level of respect is super, super high, and compared to us, we have like no really respect for our elders. We can ban all the guns in our country, but if we can't keep an eye on the country, it won't change anything. Besides, China and Korea, North and South, besides China and North Korea, North and South, the UK has the least amount of mass shootings in the world because they lay down a solid foundation of rules and enforce them in a textbook fashion. Meanwhile, the US holds 35% of the world's reported mass shootings. The point is, we need to be a bit more concerned with our laws. Or concrete with our laws, sorry. However, if we are to make a change, we need to point fingers at those responsible instead of finding a scapegoat. How is this country going to solve their problems if they don't want to take accountability for their own actions, but instead blame the shooter or video games? I mean, sure, the shooter was the one who pulled the trigger, and don't get me wrong, anytime this stuff happens, like, I will kill the shooter, because that shit should not happen, okay? Metaphorically, I would kill the shooter. You know, I'm like, I get really pissed, okay? This should never happen, anywhere. Oh, and the shooter does take the lives of the innocent, but who allowed the shooter to get a hold of the gun in the first place? Some may say the seller, and others may say the parents. However, parents are usually unaware of their children's needs until it's too late. Both parents of the Columbine and Parkland shooters were totally unaware of their parents' struggles, along with the Sandy Hook shooter, who still has an unknown trigger. Nick Cruz, the Parkland shooter, was already on the FBI's watch list, and when he continued to post pictures of guns and his violent tendencies, nothing was done. The point is, the people who were supposed to protect us are the ones putting us in danger. Now, before I conclude my presentation, I would like to address some extra precautions that our schools should take during lockdowns. Now, I know you may be thinking, well, this isn't going to happen to us. Maybe not. But when you look at all the mass shootings in America, there are only so many left. Parkland was voted the safest school in the state, and they were voted the safest school in the state, and look what happened to them. Now, it may not happen to us, but it could happen to any of our other schools, or our kids, or our grandchildren, whatever the case may be. It could still happen to anyone in the world, okay? Anyone in America, anyone. It doesn't matter, because the kids in Parkland said the same thing. They were interviewing kids, and they said, they joke about this stuff, right? And they joke, and they're like, oh, this is never gonna happen, and, next thing you know is it happens. The first flaw I would like to address is that, we should really be focused on, addressing all security precautions that are present in our school. Like, if you're in the cafeteria, because I know some schools, or I know a lot of schools don't do lockdowns in the cafeteria. So what if someone was in the cafeteria? I know some schools have this, but my school has like, the front of the cafeteria is made of all glass windows, and I'm sure that you heard about the guy who drove his truck through the window of a cafeteria and shot 22 people, I think, before he killed himself. And that's an issue. And in the cafeteria, we don't really have anywhere to go. You never really do. You have to either get out of the cafeteria or go in the kitchen or something and hide. But we need to have protocols set for that, and we need to make sure that we have a plan in case that ever does happen. Because a shooting can happen anytime. We need to make sure that we know what to do. Secondly, we should have reminders over like announcements or emails. I would prefer, announcements would be nice. Reminding us after a drill what we should do. No matter where you are, this announcement should go off. They should tell you what to do in every situation and all that. So even if you're in your classroom, this announcement should tell you where you should go, what you should do in case something like this ever did happen. And we need to promote the fact that we need to have lockdown drills at lunch. I know a lot of schools don't have lockdown drills during lunch. So now, like I said, reminders. We also need to establish a security process for the courtyard. So I know a lot of other schools have like outdoor dining areas. Like ours is in a courtyard. Some people can like eat outside. But we need to figure out, what we're gonna do if a shooter's out there. Because in Columbine, the guys started outside and moved their way in. And those kids outside, they weren't expecting anything. But, I saw an interview with a bunch of them, and they said that this stuff was looking a bit out of the norm. So we need to figure out what we're going to do, what the plan is if we're outside, and if we don't have an idea of where we're going to go, we need to figure out if there is a way to possibly, take down the shooter, like everyone running at them or throwing stuff at them. I don't know, okay? My dad goes to Krav and like he does drills on this all the time, so I'm just saying what he teaches me, kind of. And we need to make sure the students outside are safe. Plain and simple. Now, I'm not doing this for attention. I'm just doing it because it's the right thing to do. My sister is in middle school now, and I love her, and I would do anything to protect her. But I'm always going to be there for her. But I'm not always going to be there for her. Like, I'll be in college or something. So she could be in high school, I'll be in college. And if something like this goes down, I want to make sure my school is able to handle this. Because at that point, they are in charge of her safety. At school, I would give anything to make sure my sister is safe. My little sister, no, don't mess with my sister, period, okay? And we need to be able to trust that our friends and family will be able to be safe. And if we all have people we care about so much, even if you don't have a sibling or then, yeah, even if you have someone you care about, like a friend, or you don't have a sibling, find someone you care about and do that for them. And because this isn't going to change, it's going to get worse. It's already getting worse. There have already been like 150 mass shootings around the world. I just heard of one at a Waffle House the other day. It wasn't a mass shooting, but it was a shooting. There was another one the other week at a YouTube headquarters. Like, this is getting out of control, okay? Like, this is getting really, really, really bad, and we need to fix this. Because this is going to be an issue, and if we don't resolve it, then it's only going to get worse, and people are going to think that they're going to get away with it. It's already happening a lot, and I think people are doing it because they think that they can, like, they know that the punishments aren't going to be as harsh versus later, if they want to, and in addition to the fact that they're sick fucks, okay? But, like I said before, guys, this is not going to end until we take action. I'd like to thank you guys for listening. I spent like 5 days writing this speech, and I wanted to get this video out but I just couldn't. I wanted to figure out appropriate gameplay. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Be safe.